Imagine a tiny town with one tall chair. Nobody voted for the chair. It is just taller. So everyone looks up when someone sits there. That is the first trick of power. It turns height into permission. At first, this is useful. A fire starts. Someone has to yell, "Left gate." Someone has to hold the map. If nobody can decide, the town becomes smoke with shoes. So power begins as a shortcut. Fewer voices. Faster movement. Less arguing while the roof is on fire. The weird part is what happens after the fire. The chair stays tall. The map becomes secret. The microphone gets glued to one hand. Now, power stops being a tool. It becomes weather. People check the sky before they speak. They laugh at jokes before deciding if they are funny. They call fear loyalty. The safety test is simple. Can anyone take the chair away? If yes, power is a break you can fix. If no, the microphone is already growing a crown. So what is power really? Not magic. Not just violence. Not just a loud person with a fancy chair. Power's a recipe. First, attention. Everyone has to look somewhere. At the chair, at the microphone, at the person holding the map. Second, decision. Someone gets to turn maybe into yes. Someone gets to turn wait into now. Someone gets to turn all those tiny arguments into one path. Third, consequences. If you ignore the decision, something happens to you. Maybe a fine. Maybe a closed door. Maybe everyone suddenly finds you very difficult. That is the recipe. Attention. Decision. Consequence. Mix those three together and a normal chair gets very tall. This is why power is not always ugly. Sometimes it is the only thing between a crowd and a cliff. Someone has to stop the truck. Someone has to say the bridge is broken. Someone has to tell the loud guy, please stop waving the torch near the hay. People do not hand over power because they love being bossed around. Usually they hand it over because chaos is exhausting. A room with no decision can feel polite for about 9 seconds. Then it becomes a meeting. Then another meeting. Then a tiny civilization of meetings. Power promises to end the meeting. It says, give me the marker. Give me the list. Give me the map. I will make the room move. That promise is emotionally useful. It gives nervous people a direction. It gives tired people a chair to point at. It makes the world feel less like spilled soup. But every useful shortcut has a private wish. It wants to become the normal road. The first trick is habit. Yesterday, the chair was for emergencies. Today, it is just where decisions happen. Tomorrow, it is rude to ask why the chair's tall. The second trick is secrecy. The map starts as a tool. Then it becomes a privilege. Then it becomes a locked box. The person with the box says, trust me, the roads are complicated. Maybe they are. But now, everyone else is walking in the dark. The third trick is borrowed emergency. The fire goes out. But the chair keeps smelling smoke. Every question becomes dangerous. Every delay becomes betrayal. Every person asking for the map is accused of loving the fire. That is when power starts eating the room. It does not need to shout all the time. Shouting is expensive. The mature version is quieter. It teaches people to guess. Before anyone orders silence, people lower their voices. Before anyone punishes a joke, people laugh at the approved one. Before anyone says, do not look there, people practice looking somewhere else. That is power becoming weather. It is not a fist. It is the forecast. You carry an umbrella before the sky opens. And soon the town has two versions of every person. The outside person nods. The inside person takes notes. The outside person says, of course. The inside person says, that made no sense. This is why power loves symbols. It loves tall chairs. It loves stamps. It loves microphones. It loves little ropes around empty spaces. The symbol saves effort. The chair says, remember where you are. The stamp says, someone invisible agreed. The rope says, do not cross this line. even if there is nothing behind it. The microphone says, one voice is about to become many. None of these objects are evil. A chair can help. A stamp can organize. A rope can keep people away from a hole. A microphone can let the quiet person finally be heard. The problem begins when the object stops serving people, and people start serving the object. The chair needs taller legs. The stamp needs more papers. The rope needs more empty space. The microphone needs a bigger crowd. And the crown is just a chair that forgot it was furniture. So the test is not, does power do good things? Of course it can. A hammer can build a roof. It can also make every problem look like a nail. The better test is, what happens when power is wrong? Can the map be checked? Can the microphone be shared? Can the chair be lowered? Can the person on it lose an argument without calling the argument a fire? If yes, power is still a tool. Annoying sometimes. Boring often, but repairable. If no, the tool has started writing its own job description. This is why boring institutions matter. Not because they are wise. Many are sleepy, some are smug, some move like a tired shopping cart. But the boring parts add friction. A form asks, are you sure? A court asks, according to what rule? A vote asks, do enough people still want this? A free newspaper asks, why is the map missing? A whistleblower asks, why is the chair getting taller? These are breaks. Breaks are not exciting. Nobody writes a heroic song about a working break. But breaks are why a shortcut does not become a cliff. The trick is not to hate power. That is too easy. Also impossible. Every family has power. Every office has power. Every group chat has power. Someone chooses the restaurant. Someone controls the spreadsheet. Someone somehow becomes the keeper of the Wi-Fi password. The real trick is to keep asking where the door is. Can people leave? Can they complain? Can they replace the person holding the map? Can they laugh at the chair without disappearing from the room? If the answer is yes, the town can survive a tall chair. If the answer is no, the town is not being led, it is being owned. So power begins by saying, look up here, the roof is on fire. Sometimes that is exactly what everyone needs. But if nobody can lower the chair afterward, the fire was only the opening act. Useful power sits down when the job is done. Dangerous power asks why everyone else is still standing.